Might wonder what unifies the LOC. Well, there's going to be no acting this year, just talking. Didn't really have time to prepare a proper video that I thought was worthy of commission intro. So this is just where I will talk about our league. We are global number one. We got five countries represented in this league. Of course, myself as Canadian, many other Canadians, lots of Americans, and we have people from England, we have people from Serbia, and we have people from Germany. And honestly, I would love to see those numbers get up even more. So for some of you people overseas or even some of our North American friends, if you know some people maybe in South America, maybe more in Europe, I'm always open to getting some new referrals in, especially international referrals. Next, well, what keeps us unified? Well, how about the weekly recaps, everybody? For anyone that was around last year, the weekly recaps were added, and what a difference it made, right? I mean, to wake up every morning after football week is over and to go over the recap of every single league in the format of what happened, it really does unify the tiers. And I do think it unifies also the dynasties. So of course, we added the new dynasty this year, so we are now five leagues in the LOC format. And this year, once again, those weekly recaps will be featured, adding the new dynasty as well. Last but not least, we are the LOC family. It was funny. This league was once criticized for being a family league. It is a family league. We got wives in here. We got brothers in here. We might even have some sisters in here. Well, so we got a sister-in-law. So yeah, we are family. And honestly, for the teams that have been around a long time, I just want to say thank you. A lot of you have stuck up for me in a lot of scenarios where, I it felt like, is this really worth going on? And lots of shout outs to people like Dushan, Danny, Ryan. I could think of many more, but those are a few that I just think about that were there in certain situations when I really needed another voice, and you were there. So I just want to say thank you to this LOC family for sticking by my side. And really, it's you that makes this the best fantasy league out there. Thank you.
A few moments later.
Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's the commish. Back here with another draft preview. We feature our last team out of the international. It's Eric and Swaginho, a guy that before in the past has always been regarded as having one of the best career win percentages, but recent performances brought him down, and he's not at the top anymore, but definitely still around that range. And that's why last year was a bit of a surprise in terms of your result. So let's just get into it and we can talk about it. All right, gonna go to your preview here. Eric and Swahinho, here we go, 2026. So looking at the keepers here, you're gonna roll with Jordan Love, quarterback for Green Bay. I mean, Favre, then Rodgers, and then Jordan Love. Those are two tough guys to follow up, who were quarterbacks for Green Bay, legends, obviously. And Jordan Love is still, I think, trying to create a legacy. He's got a lot of weapons. I mean, they've drafted some receivers. Watson, Matthew Golden is there now. You got Jaden Reed. I know Dobbs got let go, but they also have a great tight end in Tucker Kraft and a good running back in the criminal Josh Jacobs. So Jordan Love, we'll have to see if he can produce. I'm not too sure if there's other people on the roster. I'll let you know if he could have capped. But Jordan Love, I would say, is kind of a mid-tier quarterback until he can really prove that he deserves to be among the elite in the Packers Ring of Honor. You also got some risk with the running back you're keeping and J.K. Dobbins. We already saw the injuries last year. R.J. Harvey had to step in, and Denver brought in another running back, Jonah Coleman. to account for potentially those injuries continually developing for J.K. Dobbins. I mean, obviously, running backs are a premium in this league, and it might very well be your only option, but definitely someone that carries a level of risk. Probably your best keeper out of the bunch is Nico Collins. Here's a guy that consistently gets over 1,000, lots of touchdowns. CJ Stroud's a bit overrated. I think we all know that, but hopefully he can progress another year and be a better quarterback for Nico Collins. So Nico Collins can cement his place as maybe a top five, top 10 wide receiver. But again, Houston doesn't have the same, I guess you could say, legacy status as the other team there in Texas, Dallas. And that's where he probably wishes he was, because he would be probably putting up Michael Irvin superstar numbers, except related to this, the current year stats as opposed to the early 90s. Then you're going Rashid Shaheed out of Seattle, a kick return specialist for them last year. Wasn't really involved in the passing game. The offseason reports do say that he should get more involved, but once again, a keeper, like when I look at keeper quality across the league, I mean, the good thing about Shaheed is he can get some big play numbers, so I can't totally discredit him, but the fact that he was hardly involved last year is a bit of a concern, especially Cooper Kupp said he is returning for another year. So, there's still targets that are going to go to the veteran there. And then you got a tight end here. You probably drafted him last year. I have no idea, but if you're keeping him, you probably did. Colston Loveland. He was a bit of a disappointment last year, too, in his rookie season. But the offseason reports say he's going to get much more involved. And DJ Moore's gone, so that would make a lot of sense to start involving these pieces, especially since Chicago did draft them high. And then there's another rookie here that you probably picked as well at linebacker, who's entering his second year. And I think he's going to be a great linebacker to have because, let's face it, small market Cleveland sucks. They're going to be on the field a lot defensively, and Carson Schlesinger might be the guy that obviously benefits from that, from a ton of tackles in the IDP hole. Looking at who else you could have kept here, Zach Bond could potentially be a keeper at linebacker, but going with the younger guy does make a lot of sense. Obviously, sorry for the yawn. A little tired. Yeah, no one else really to keep unless you wanted to take a chance on T.J. Hawkinson again. But I think who you got is who you need, and I don't know, like, I don't know if you're around in the off season, but to have been able to add like a guy like Terry McLaurin for what he went would be a huge benefit to your roster. Without giving up a lot of capital. I know McLaurin's getting older, but off-season reports have been glowing, and he's still the WR1 there. If you wanted to compete, maybe you're looking at another prep year here, bag another couple of rookies, and hopefully those people will perform for you as time goes on. There it is. I talked about it a bit at the beginning. A typical, not a typical year for Swaginho, a rare down year. Brought your career record to 56 and 40. So one way to look at it, before this season, you were 52 and 30. Now your career record's 56 and 40 after the 4 and 10 record. 16th place is where you finished, so at least you did get to make consolation and get a top 8 pick. And I guess that you could consider that a win after a 4 and 10 year. But you're really going to have to nail your draft pick selections, and the reality is you didn't do any moves last year, right? And not to say that that's a bad thing, but generally you're not going to be able to compete. Oh, excuse me, if you don't make too many trades, and again, it puts a lot of pressure on your draft picks to perform. I mean, your football, so I'm not too concerned about it. I don't think you're going to drop by any means, but and I could be wrong on Shaheed and Dobbins. Those guys could go off, right? And they could be electric keepers. But you can see you're picking eighth overall after finishing last in the consolation playoffs. Puts you at eighth overall, and then obviously 25 picks later you pick again, and then 15 picks later you pick again. So it's going to go, just like that, 25, 15, 25, 15, which, again, there's 20 teams picking, so it's going to take some time. Again, when you look at drafts like this, they are easier to, I guess you could say, prepare for. At times, the picks aren't spread out. You know exactly where you're picking. You got your 10 and 10, 10 and 10, and then, of course, your 9 and 9. So, again, pretty standard draft pick scenario here for you. Really not too much to discuss other than you're going to have to bag somebody of quality at eighth overall. And I think you still can, right? Whether that's going to be a veteran that could be a future keeper or potentially a rookie that might be a future keeper, which brings me to your first pick, projected first pick. I think because of the lack of running back strength you have, you could potentially go running back or you go best available, right? And according to Sleeper's ADP, again, this is not necessarily who I would go with or excuse me, who I would expect you to go with. But according to Sleeper, they got Cortland Sutton here as a potential wide receiver, Michael Wilson. Both those guys I would almost consider WR2s at this stage. You got potentially Ramondre Stevenson or Kyle Monson guy if you want a running back that could produce. Of course, those both of those running backs should be in some sort of timeshare this year. And then, of course, Makai Lemon is who they say would still be available at pick eight as a rookie wide receiver. Very well could still be there at eight. And with A.J. Brown gone, we'll have to see if Makai Lemon's going to be more involved as a rookie and maybe a rookie that could produce. So time will tell. All right, the barometer chart. From my perspective here, could you finish bottom four? Potentially. I mean, again, I do think you have weaker keepers compared to some other teams in the league. I put you more in the bottom tier in that regard. But that weak keepers and quality and bad draft could put you in the bottom four. You just snuck out of the bottom four last year, and really will just be dependent on who's selling and who's buying. Consolation contender, could we see a repeat performance? Very well could. Again, the keeper quality I'm not impressed on, even with like Jordan Love. I think three out of your five keepers are somewhat mediocre, right? There's no doubt about that. And if you don't get an impactful player at eight, you very well could be a consolation contender. Playoff team, I mean, you definitely want back in the dance. You might have to go all in, though, or at least half in to be a playoff team. Again, when I look at Klenji's draft pick scenario and keeper quality, he's looking pretty strong in the division, and then too good for a name. I do feel has the best keepers in the league. So it puts you behind the eight ball because you will be playing at least two games against those teams, which you can see there. That's who I have as the biggest competitor for the division title, or those two teams. I think it is between those two for the most part for the division. Champion, well, if you go all in, Collins is top five. Love and Shaheed put up huge numbers. Then maybe this could be a possibility. Anyone can win the championship in this league. Anyone can drop. I dropped. Again, it's something that's gonna happen if you sell or you do prep and all year and year, you run the risk of dropping the following year. And we've had to see teams like No More making some trades here in the offseason for good values for the teams picking up with the players that he has. But again, he understands he's going to need some of those picks to survive. So in your case, you never made a single trade last year. So, if you remain stagnant, likely your success is going to remain stagnant again. You could very well be looking at another 4 and 10 year, maybe 5 and 9, unless, like I say, some of those guys go off and outperform like maybe I don't expect them to. But anyways, Eric and Swaginho, you've been around a long time. I'd love to see that career record and your performance rise to the top again. But I know you do this through the draft for the most part, and you've always have. So, anyways, I hope you have a wonderful season, man, and I hope your life is treating you well.